Welcome back to the Archetypes of the East series. After the concept of a difficult beginning in Hexagram 3, we transition to the beginner's mind in Youthful Folly. The original term for this hexagram means enveloped, shrouded, or covered, like a young plant under a protective layer of moss. The principle here is that inexperience is a sacred stage. The principle of this hexagram highlights the youthful state of inexperience, ignorance, and the lack of understanding. It offers grace to the seeker, recognizing that mistakes are part of the learning journey. With the right teacher, wisdom becomes second nature, and the I Ching indicates that this is an important period of learning and development. The folly isn't being ignorant per se. The folly would be pretending that you already have all the answers. Wisdom is not something that you find. It's something that is cultivated through the right relationship with the teacher or the source of truth. The seeker's humble acknowledgement of their need for teaching is a virtue. The correct mentality for any learner is to be a patient, sincere, receptive student with a true desire to learn, and it requires an excellent teacher to be both incredibly patient and firm. It's okay for the seeker to embrace ignorance. There's no shame in not knowing something. Admitting that you don't have all the answers is the first step towards mastery. Now is the time to look for an appropriate teacher or mentor. Self-discipline and patience with oneself, along with consistent work, lead to great success. The image of Hexagram 4, mountain over water. A spring wells up at the foot of the mountain. The image of youth. The superior one fosters their character and thoroughness in all that they do. Just as a spring must be patient and thorough before reaching a river, the beginner must be consistent in their learning and their practice. Be patient with your development and embrace each step of the learning process. Imagine a fresh, clear spring emerging from the base of a massive, immovable peak. The mountain provides the wall, the boundary, the protection, while the water provides the will or the movement. In this phase, you are the water. You cannot move the mountain and you shouldn't try to. Instead, you must learn how to flow. Just as water must fill every hollow and crevice before it can overflow and move forward, you must master the basics before moving on to the complex. Every repetitive task, every boring lesson is building the character you'll need once you reach your goal. Look to the rules and limitations placed upon you right now and see them as banks of a river. They're not trapping you. They're giving you the direction and force necessary to grow. The judgment of Hexagram 4 states, Youthful folly brings about success. It is not I, the oracle, who seeks the young fool. It is the young fool who seeks me. Growth can't be forced on those who aren't willing to grow. At the first instruction, I informed them that if the student isn't humble enough to listen, it is annoyance. Should they continue their nagging, I will not waste my time or energy on those who aren't ready to learn the lesson. Persevering with humble self-discipline furthers the endeavor. The I Ching states that it does not seek out its students, rather, the seeker must recognize their own lack of understanding and approach with respect and authenticity. Importunity or nagging, repeatedly asking the same question because of dissatisfaction with the answer, is discouraged. True learning starts by accepting the first piece of advice and acting upon that advice. Persistent nagging leads to misdirection from the oracle. Humility and a willingness to grow leads to success. In the realm of career, goals, and ambitions, this hexagram states that it's okay to not know everything or to have all the answers. To be a good student, just be teachable and apply what you learn. Have patience with the process of learning something new. Don't let frustration over the newness of something get the better of you or force you to quit before you've begun to start. Becoming a master takes time. Where it concerns relationships and social flow, this hexagram says to defer to the experts and those who have navigated difficulties that you're facing now. Approach those who have overcome past adversities or difficult subjects with genuine respect for their time and their knowledge. And for all those called to teach, your patience with your students will pay off in the long run by being succinct, direct, and even open to learning something new from them. A changing line 1. To help a student develop, it's beneficial to apply clear discipline. The shackles that restrain the student's understanding should be removed. If one were to go on in this way, it would bring humiliation. Put simply, the oracle is saying, set clear, firm rules and boundaries. Discipline should be seen as a direct instruction rather than a punishment. Before teaching, remove any barriers, whether that be a mindset or a poor routine, that hinder understanding. If a teacher is too strict without building this understanding, it'll result in the teacher's humiliation. Build simple foundations and support natural growth. Avoid smothering or threatening the student learner. A changing line 2. To bear with the inexperienced with kindliness and patience brings good fortune. To interact with women, to follow their example, brings good fortune. Like the experienced eldest son taking charge of the household, you will be trusted with greater duty. Should the seeker be a teacher or mentor to someone with less experience, to bear with fools, quote unquote, you must be patient, understanding, and nurturing. Show tolerance with kindness when correcting ignorance with firmness. A teacher must be able to handle all sorts of people with differing temperaments by emulating gentleness. This is the to know how to understand women. It's a metaphor for integrating the yin, receptive, gentle side of leadership. A great leader knows when to be the eldest son, taking charge, and when to be the woman or the mother, nurturing. You've got the skills, and now people are looking to you for direction. Don't be a know-it-all who snaps at interns and juniors. The more patience that you show to the fools in the room, quote unquote, the more the higher-ups will trust you with bigger projects. Kindness is your biggest asset right now. A changing line 3. Do not take on a student or prospect who, in their shallow attraction when seeing a teacher of esteem, loses all possession of their character and individuality. Nothing furthers the teacher or the student that lacks good judgment. One should not rely on people who are superficial, easily convinced of everything, or swayed by appearance or status. The metaphor of a maiden losing all of her senses in her attraction to a shallow affluence or authority, like a man of bronze, should inform the teacher not to engage with characters with no sense of independence or depth of character. They may only value you for what you have to offer them. Seeking a student with genuine character and authenticity is the correct way to go about things. Also, likewise, avoid the guru trap. Don't follow a mentor just because they have a million followers or a flashy lifestyle. Likewise, if you're a teacher taking on a student, don't pick the candidate who just tells you everything that they want to hear. You need someone with a backbone, not a fanboy who loses their individuality the moment that they enter the room. A changing line 4. Being entangled in self-idiocy and willful ignorance brings nothing but humiliation. An individual who continues to persist in ignorance, they refuse to learn, cling to falsehoods, or are trapped in self-delusion. This individual is entangled and not ready for growth. This is the buying your own hype trap. You've surrounded yourself with yes men or ignored the data because it doesn't fit your narrative. You're not just wrong, you're being confidently wrong. The I Ching is telling you to wake up before the market or the world does it for you in a much more painful way. Admit when you're stuck. Look for an outside perspective, someone who has no stake in your delusion. You need an objective truth to cut through the tangles in your current mindset. A changing line 5. Childlike curiosity and wonder brings good fortune. One's character is childlike and has a receptive beginner's mind free from pride. One is humble and genuinely eager to learn, embodying the highly sought-after student who attracts good fortune. Simplicity and receptivity will lead to success. This is the 0 to 1 mindset. You've put aside your ego and are willing to be new at something again. Because you're not trying to look cool or stay correct, you're absorbing information 10 times faster than the speed of everyone else around you. You are the highly sought-after student that every top-tier mentor wants to coach. A changing line 6. In correcting errors, it does not further the teacher to utilize severe punishment. The only thing that furthers is the implementation of preventative measures against further wrongdoing. With students who are deeply ignorant or stubborn, it isn't beneficial to resort to excessive punishment, otherwise you'll be committing transgression. The best course is the preventing of transgression by creating conditions that deter ignorance. Cultivate a learning space where learning is more beneficial and misconduct is naturally discouraged. With particularly difficult students that most would consider lost causes, you can't inflict vengeance to purge the problem. It's necessary to crack the whip on occasion, but don't reinforce darkness with more cruelty. That concludes Hexagram 4 Youthful Folly. I hope that you liked the video if you found it helpful in understanding this hexagram. Subscribe to follow the Hexagram series, and next we'll be covering Hexagram 5, Waiting. See you soon.